Hello, how's everyone doing? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to another video. So today's video is to do with shows that I have seen. Because of quarantine, I've had an opportunity to come back to the family house and clear out all my stuff, and came across a wad of programmes. Not all my programmes. I don't actually know where all my programmes have gone because I'm a bit concerned, because there's some shows that I really liked and I got the programme for. I can't find them, so I'm a bit concerned about where I've left them. But hey ho, doesn't matter. So if you didn't know it about me, I actually trained as an actor, a performer maybe is a better way of putting it. I did a national diploma in acting, so acting skills, movement skills, script skills, all that kind of stuff. After I did my college BND, I went off to university and did a degree in performing arts as well, which was in London. So I did 3 years at performing arts university school, which was amazing. Loved it. Hard work, challenging, and then in between all my normal jobs, I've actually had the opportunity to work on a TV show, work on a couple of tours, theatre and education. I've done hotel entertainment, all that kind of stuff. So I've sang, I've danced, moved, and all that kind of stuff. So I've got a real appreciation for the arts. Love it. If I could make a career doing it consistently, I would love that. And yeah, love the theatre. Always loved going to the theatre and all that kind of stuff. I think the end game is to just kind of keep going. If I could get a long running theatre gig, I'll be well happy with that, or something along those lines. So I thought today we'll reminisce about shows that I've seen. Now, my first memory of the first show that I remember seeing was Cats, and it must have been a tour because it was in my local town of Nottingham. It was at the Theatre Royal, and my memory of it was in the interval you got to go up and meet the main cat. Don't ask me the names because I can't remember. It's been a long time. You got to meet the cat, and there's a bit in the show, I think it was near the start, where the cats come through the audience, and one of the cats came and sat near me. I loved the theatre because the way they do the set and the staging for it is awesome, and it was a great opportunity, and yeah, fell in love with it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I never wanted to watch the movie, because I've got really good memories of the theatre show that I didn't want the movie that was being slated to kind of ruin that for me. So that was must been one of the first ever shows that I saw. After that, I got to go and see Grease, and this is the only thing I can find from it, but I remember getting this badge and thinking, wow, this is awesome. Grease was fantastic. If you ever get to see Grease live on stage in a theatre, go and see it because it was amazing. One of the things I remember from the theatre show was the opening. Literally the whole auditorium vibrated. It was crazy. Literally that opening, Grease's the opening music for it, a big sign comes down saying Grease, which is like made out of floodlights. It literally stunned you, and the music just vibrated your whole seat, and it was such a good show, and it always is. So if you've not seen the movie or even the live version, go and check it out because it is a fantastic show, and Grease was amazing. Loved Grease. I got to do Grease at school, secondary school. I was lucky enough to actually play 2 parts. At the time I was a bit upset about that because I was just like, I just wanted to be a T-word, but I got the opportunity to play 2 roles. I was Johnny Casino, so I sang Born to Hand Jive, and then straight after that scene I had a full costume change and I was the Teen Angel, which actually, now looking back at it, is an awesome role because you barely do anything, and it's a really cool song. So I actually, if there was video footage of that would be cool, because I would love to rewatch that show and see what the hell I looked like and sounded like. But hey ho, there we go. So Grease was the second one. Now, I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to go and see An amazing show, which still is one of my top shows to go and see. So if you're ever in London and you have the opportunity to go and see this show, please do. It is by Disney, and it is the wonderful Lion King. Now, I think the reason why I love it so much is because of the use of puppetry, the music and the cast. Everything about it just works. It's a great story, it's a great visual, and it's just got such a good heart to it. And yeah, fell in love with it when I went and saw it as a child, and it was such a great show. So if you ever get to go to London, or see it on tour, because I know it does tour, definitely go and see The Lion King. An amazing show. Now, talking about Lion King, I also, after Lion King, I can't actually remember what else I saw as a child. Young things. I think it was more plays and stuff like that, because especially when I was at college and school, I remember going to see Animal Farm. Definitely went and saw Animal Farm, and the only other thing I saw at college was The Producers. So we did like, I saw Woman in Black as well, yeah. So when I was at college, we went and saw a musical and a play. The musical was The Producers, and they had technical difficulties, which, yeah, I remember because it was at the Drury Lane Theatre. And then we also saw The Woman in Black, which is great. So if you've never seen The Woman in Black, it's kind of like a horror, but live on stage, psychological. Some crazy things go along, so definitely that's a good one, and it's a long running show that I don't think's ever left the West End. It's so good, but it's good, and if you've seen the movie, you kind of get the idea of what that's about. The Producers, again, it's a massive theatrical show, so the visuals are great, the ensemble is great, the soundtrack is great, and it's Mel Brooks at its best. It's a great show. So The Producers I've gone and seen, and then I used to just go and see Pantos, local Pantos and kudos Pantos. So there's some others. So I'm gonna go through this massive stack of things that I've found. So the next one I wanted to talk about was, again, another one that I've seen about 3 times now. Wicked. Amazing. I think I got to, luckily, well, I got to see the final showing of Nzina Manzel and in the West End, because she came over and did some when it was early starting. I'm hoping that's right, but I think so. But yeah, I got to see this when it first opened in London. In the same theatre where this was, I actually got to go and see Saturday Night Fever, which I never thought of seeing it, but it was a random weekend in London and went and saw Saturday Night Fever. And it's actually a really good musical, because I've seen the movie, but got to see that. So that was a random weekend in London. But Wicked, I think I've seen it about 3 times now, and in 3 different positions in the theatre, because I didn't even know there was a dragon at the start of it when I first saw it, because I didn't see that bit. But yeah, great cast, and I would say that would be one of the shows that I would like to be in if I ever got the opportunity to. So Wicked, Saturday Night Fever, again, some great stuff for males in that, and yeah, really good. When I was at university, we were asked to go and see loads of different things as well. One thing I did see when I was at uni was Edward Scissorhands at Sadler's Wells. That was a Matthew Bourne ballet, which was great. Contemporary ballet, maybe is what you would say. Comment below if you disagree. Contemporary dance. I also got to see Mary Poppins at the Princess Theatre. Now, Disney definitely know how to do it, and I'm like over the moon that I got to see that. And when Mary Poppins kind of flies over the audience at the end, absolutely amazing. Loved it. So a really good show. Mary Poppins as well. Also, like I said, I have seen over the years some amazing pantomimes. I was lucky enough to see Cinderella at the London Palladium when Kudos started doing pantos again. So this was with Julian Clary and Paul O'Grady, and again, people used to diss panto to me all the time and just think it was naff, but I love Panto. I think it's great. If you're from a different country and you don't know what Panto is, it's basically fairy tales done at Christmas on a stage, and there's typically a cast of so there's basically a love interest, so there's a prince and a princess who magically get together, there's some sort of fairy or godmother, and then there's like a dame character as well, which is usually a comic. So there's a bit of comedy, a bit of love, and it's all wrapped up in pop songs that you usually would know, and it's breaking the fourth wall, so it's all audience interactive. The audience are asked to kind of cheer and boo along and all that kind of stuff. You can see me at Warner Leisure Hotels in Jack and the Beanstalk on my YouTube channel, so if you want to see what a Panto is, that'll give you a bit of an idea. So yes, this was such a great show, and the budget they do on these Pantos are amazing. There's like live animals and special effects by Twin Effects, which are an amazing effects company. So yeah, so most local Pantos at your typical theatre royals would be run by Kudos, and you can't go wrong with a Kudos Panto, I don't think. They're amazing. And there are other companies out there before I get told off. So yeah, so there you go. So let's talk about some other things that I've seen and what other Pantos. Now, Hackney Empire, they're known for some amazing work. So yeah, so Jack and the Beanstalk is what I've seen at Hackney Empire. Again, some amazing people who do it on and off pretty much every year. This was Jack and the Beanstalk. They're really good at making it quite locally themed, so they'll have lots of kind of like local references and stuff like that, and that's one big thing about Panto all over the country, and wherever you see it they'll try and like incorporate the local area just to kind of give it another kind of local feel to it. So yeah, so Hackney Empire, saw Jack and the Beanstalk. What else have I got here? Bend It Like Beckham. Now, I randomly just got tickets for this, and it was quite just a random night. So we got tickets and we were like, oh, let's go and see Bend It Like Beckham. So I think it was because they were cheap as well. How much were they? I actually kept my ticket. Yeah, $39.50, and it was in the stalls. So yeah, so we just randomly went and saw Bend It Like Beckham. The music was really good, and the production of this was really good, and the Phoenix Theatre is really nice. The Phoenix Theatre Club, which is underneath, is actually a lovely place as well if you ever get to go and see it. But again, a movie that was made into a musical, really worked. Some great songs in it, some great staging and special effects that they used. But yeah, loved it. Bend It Like Beckham. If you ever get to see it, if it ever relives, good one to go and see. Some good English commentary in there. Also that year I went and saw Chicago, which again is a classic. If you ever get to see it when it comes back, or if it's on tour, go and see Chicago. And also Ghost. I the person I went and saw it with didn't like it 100% from what I can remember, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Like, it was contemporary dance, the staging was all kind of like TV screens and illusions, and again it was an adaptation of a movie which worked really well on stage, and the music was really good as well. Again, talking about Pantos, Kudos Panto, went and saw it at my local Theatre Royal Nottingham. This was in when was this? What year was this? I don't know. Cannot remember, but again, Aladdin, so a typical fairy tale or urban story played out with a pop idol, a comedian, and a dame. What else can go wrong? Amazing. And they usually put like 3D effects in these as well, so like you get 3D glasses and they do a 3D montage section. Now, talking about Aladdin the Panto, again, another one that I would love to do again. I did it once at Warner Hotel, but again, would love to do it. But I know I can't be cast in the actual Broadway performance. Now, I saw mixed reviews about this when it came to the West End, and a lot of people were saying it was a bit too pantomime-ish, but I think it's just the way Aladdin works, and the character of the genie kind of does that interaction with the audience. So again, But I loved this show. It was amazing. I got to sit, I think, like 3 rows from the front, and it was just incredible. Absolutely love the score, love the sets, and love the script. It went down amazingly, and you can tell that Disney did a good job. And I think it ran for quite a while in London, from what I can remember. But yeah, got to see that. And before Aladdin started, I think I went and saw Miss Saigon in the same theatre. Miss Saigon, another amazing show, and I got to sit again like 2 rows from the front, and the wind effect when the helicopter lands, unbelievable. Couldn't believe it. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, Aladdin, another great show that I've seen. Talking about Mel Brooks and the producers, my friend Carl actually got me tickets to go and see Young Frankenstein for a birthday present. And again, I think we were actually on the front row, and I think this was the first show I've ever seen where I've been literally pretty much on stage, and it was so unreal. And it made me realise that everyone's like, oh, got to get a front row seat, get a front row seat for a show. Actually, it was like one of the worst experiences of my life. Loved watching the show, but I felt like the actors could literally look at me, and if I was looking right at that point, I could put you off. And again, as a performer, I hate being able to see the faces of people watching me, because I get too like roped into what they're looking and their expressions and stuff like that, and I shouldn't. So yeah, but it's so good, so funny. If you ever get to see it, it was such a great show, and it's a really cool theatre. The how do you say it? Garrick Theatre. Actually, a really cute little theatre. But yeah, Mel Brooks, Young Frankenstein, definite good one to go and watch. Also, around the corner from there, on the Strand at the Savoy, I got to see Legally Blonde. Now, this was written, and when I saw maybe like a couple of years before, I saw the bootleg whilst I was working on Norwegian Cruise Line, and I was blown over by it. I loved the soundtrack, and I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was such a funny show, and it really brought the movie to life. And when it got to come over, again, I was doing a project, I think it was at the Thorpe Park, and we randomly had a day out in London, and bought tickets and went and saw it, and it was hilarious, absolutely hilarious, and such a good show. So if you get to see that, definitely go and see that. And also in the same kind of style, Book of Mormon, I was gobsmacked about what they get away with on that show, but it's such a good show. Like the script and the songs and the dancing is incredible. Sets amazing, but again, Book of Mormon, funny show, but I wouldn't take my parents to go and see it just because I couldn't be in the same room whilst that was happening. But talking about Legally Blonde, I also got to see Hairspray. Hairspray, again, classic. Movie really good, stage show really good. I saw the touring show of this, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I think they had maybe a cut show, or maybe there was an issue with sound at one point, I don't know, but it was amazing. Really good cast, and it really does show that if you want to go and see quite a well-known show on tour, you're going to get West End standards pretty much, and it's going to be a hell of a good show. So don't think just because it's on tour it's not going to be as good as if you went and saw it in a West End venue. You're pretty much getting West End standard now on all tours, because I also got to see the tour of Oliver, and that was incredible. Like the sets and the acting and the performance level was incredible. And it was an amazing thing. So Hairspray, Oliver, if you see anything on tour really, like I think the standard is quite high, and the only like massive tour that I did was a Panto tour, and it kills you. So credit to any performer or actor who does a tour, because it's knackering and very hard. Other things that I've seen, one of the movies that I used to love growing up, and one movie that was brought into my kind of life when I was at college, was a movie called Beautiful Thing. It was a fantastic play to begin with. I eventually got to see it live on stage, which if you get to see it, or if it does ever come back out again, definitely go and watch it. It was great. I think the tour actually got cut short because of ticket sales, but it's an incredible story and an incredible show, and the sets are amazing, and it's got such a lovely story arc to it. But one thing that I found, which was great, was this. So it was actually it wasn't the play itself, it was a contemporary dance performance of Beautiful Thing, and it was at the site where the film was set and filmed before it was getting knocked down, and they used projection mapping and basically told the story within the flats itself of the story of Beautiful Thing. So check out the story of Beautiful Thing. It's basically a coming of age gay storyline about two boys who meet. They both live on a council estate, and basically it's how they fall in love and all this kind of stuff. This performance, really, you kind of needed to know the story before you went and saw it. I think if I didn't know the story before I saw this version of it, I would have been a bit confused, because I was just a bit like, what's going on? But because I knew the story and I'd read the play, watched the play, seen the movie, etc, etc, it worked, and it was such a great show and such a great environment, and I just can't believe it's all been knocked down now. So but yeah, Beautiful Thing. Another show I went and saw, and this is at the Union Theatre, and they do some really interesting shows. So yeah, so check it out if you ever go to London. It's called Closer to Heaven. It was the Pet Shop Boys musical by a famous writer, Jonathan Harvey. When I found this, I was like, what was the storyline? I just remember it's basically set in a nightclub, and it has this very outspoken female lead. I think her name is Billy, what's her name? Billy Trix. So basically it's Billy Trix's, she's like the front of this nightclub, and it's kind of a another coming of age story where a boy moves to London and finds himself in the industry and finds love and all this kind of stuff. But it's hilarious. It's such a good show. And the bits that I remember of is this just outrageous woman who is just crazy. And I think they've actually made a sequel or a spin-off with that character. But she was incredible, and like the artwork is just crazy. And basically when you went in there, you felt like you were a part of this club. So it was really good. But yeah, Closer to Heaven, Pet Shop Boys did the music to it. So again, it's not your typical kind of musical sound. So if you're not a real musical fan, then again, something to go and watch and something to kind of think about. So yeah, so Closer to Heaven. So there are still musicals that I want to go and see, one of which is Les Mis. Never actually seen it. Seen the movie, but never seen that. And I think the next major show that I really, really want to go and see is Phantom of the Opera. I want to go back to all the classics, just because I've not actually ever seen them. So looking for something a little bit more there. So yeah. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet. There's more musicals and more theatre that I've seen, so if this works, then we could go into a bit more detail of other musicals and shows that I've seen. Maybe do a top 10, something like that. But anyway, thanks for watching, enjoy, and I'll see you soon. Bye.